Hey guys, it's Chris, and I'm back with another material overview. And this one is the Glyptotek Museum wall material that I made a couple years back. Some of the stuff could have been made a bit differently. The tools weren't out yet, but I'm gonna go over it anyways. So don't judge if you're like, oh, why do you do it that way? But anyways, okay, cool. So we're gonna start with this outer pattern. So what I started out with a weave generator, and I have this gradient, and I curve, get on both sides, and I blended it together, and then I tiled it a whole bunch, and then I did a symmetry grayscale to get it to follow that direction, and then I got it to be in a full square. I did the same thing with these lines. These are basically going to be the bricks. So did it again, same workflow. Lowered the value, blended it, and then this mask came from the square. The square I used to just help mask out the outer trim. All right, and then for the curve pattern, or the carve pattern, sorry. Started out with this diamond, and then I masked out. I have this super ellipse. Used the transformer, stretched it out, got the shape, got this edge detect, transformed 2D, masked it out on one side. I edge detected it. I did a symmetry grayscale. I beveled it, transformed it, offset it. I was just playing around trying to get some cool pattern. Did a height blend, then I beveled it, and then I transformed it, and I squished it in. And then I have another gradient here. I create another curve. Curve node is great because it gives you profiles. I transformed that. I did a symmetry, and then I blended that pattern with, or I blended the curve with this pattern, and I got this shape. Actually, here, let me show you. I have this base material I will apply so you guys can see what the heights are looking and what they're doing. So here's what this is doing. Nothing too crazy. Just showing off the pattern. And then here as well, show off the pattern. It looks weird because the settings they're not adjusted to each individual height. But all right, let's keep going. And for the circle, I again linear gradient. I did a curve profile. I transformed it. The reason why I didn't use a shape mapper here is because I couldn't get the width that I wanted. So I just old school transform. A lot of mirroring, symmetry, stuff like that. And then I actually, for this project, I used the JRO Alphas, which are pretty cool. You can definitely do this procedurally, but sometimes you just want to get something done quick, which is like always my goal. So anyways, same curve, shape map, circular pattern. I wanted to lower the background, and then I added the pattern, I transformed it, and then I blended it into that frame. Then I tiled it a whole bunch. There you go. And then I'll show you what that looks like. Boom. Tiles. All right. Trim outer mask. This is just a mask for getting the outer trim later on in the graph. So for this guy, the ornate patterns, really rinse and repeat here. Linear gradient, different curve profile, transforming it. This one I wanted to be a little bit different because I wanted a little bit of separation when I blended the pieces together, and then I did it. Got the got the piece together, and then I blended just a uniform color to light. I didn't want it to be completely black. Again, using the JRO Alphas, combining to create a cool pattern, rotating it, blending it with that frame. I did the same thing with a different alpha, and then I created tile generators. One for each pattern, offsetted it. I had to rotate them to fit because it's rotated here. Then I blended them together, and then I'll plug it in, and that's what that looks like. Really love those JRO Alphas. They come in handy. So now it gets to the point where we're gonna start blending all the things together. So the first blend comes here, where we're gonna be adding. Oh, I actually cut out the excess bricks. I didn't want all the stuff in the middle. I just wanted bricks, so I masked it out. That's why you have all these bricks here. And then I added the oh, that's not adding it. That's just masking it out. But I masked it out, I guess. I guess I blended two different patterns first before I added it. Okay, so that's what I did first. Added the circular bit with the with this column piece, and then I masked it all in together. And I'm using the same square. I use this one a lot just to get all the different pieces masked out. And that's pretty much how I assembled the masks. And then finally we're gonna add those patterns in the middle using that square once more, and then there you go, we have all the patterns set up. So now I'm gonna show how I did my damages and edge chipping. It's not a lot, I kept it really simple on this guy. I did a slope blur with B&W spots. I lowered the resolution on this guy to get more I feel like you get better results if it's not full resolution. I feel like it's way too noisy compared to this. And then I just blended it, and it's just barely even coming through. It's just super soft, just a little bit. And then I did a B&W spots, and I blended it, and I used this itself to mask it out for just I'll show you guys, just for a little bit of noise and stuff. It's actually doing more than I remember, but anyways, and that's basically the final height. And now we're gonna get into the texturing and stuff like that. I put a blend node here just to get the height out, and then I created an ambient occlusion. Here's my normal map, and I create a curvature map. All these will be used to create masks. And so, all right, I will go over how I started to texture this guy. So now the way how I separated out, I kind of utilized that to create the textures as well. So nothing crazy on the gradient maps. I tried to use a minimal amount of dots or points, whatever you want to call these things, because I don't want to have like a bunch of crazy colors everywhere. So I'm just using the masks. So I take what I have, and then I use the flood filled nodes to generate these gradient maps, which is super cool. And then when I'm blending just two different types of colors, you get all these variations, which is awesome. You can I turned the opacity down. Obviously, you can adjust more. You can make it less, or whatever. And I keep doing that with the different patterns. You know, we have the side, we have the circular bits. Then I blended it. We have this mask. It's just that square mask. This guy gets used a lot. And then again. Ooh, that's actually really bad. That shouldn't be like that, but again, I'm using the flood fill to get the different luminance values to mask out different parts. So this guy, got this guy, blending it using this. Again, I lowered the opacity some, and then just kind of putting it all together at the end using the square masks. And then, so now I start creating masks with the normal and curvature and stuff like that. So I have this mask drips, and I use this, and then I do this, and I screen it, and I kept the opacity, and it's not doing, it's pretty subtle, it's not doing too much. And then with this guy, this is for the desat or the like sun bleach spots. I took a clouds 2, warped it. Ooh, actually I didn't, so we can warp it some. Let me actually increase this. So I warped it, and then this is the color we're getting, and then I blended it. I'm using the directional warp that we just created the color with for the mask as well. And then we could probably lower the opacity if you want. But anyways, we'll keep going. And then took this guy, I sharpened it a little bit, and this mask is just similar B&W spots with a directional warp. Just getting a bunch of crazy noise and stuff like that and adding on top. Then I use this dirt mask, which is pretty awesome. It's just using the height, curvature, ambient, and the normal map. And it creates really cool dirt masks. And I used this guy to just mask out some spots because it looks pretty uniform without it. Then I added it over. Now we got this dirt, and that's my base color. And I did a super ugly and quick roughness. I took the grayscale, I adjusted this, no, that's default. I didn't adjust it at all, but I inverted it, and I was like, fuck it, that's just my roughness. And then I have all my final outputs. And then we can say view options in 3D, and then there we go. That was basically how I made this guy. And when I started using Quixel Mixer, I was like, man, this guy could definitely use a push. So I'm actually going to show that as well. So let's go over to Mixer. And so I imported my materials. You can either create a solid or a paint layer and then load it in, but I actually just library and then import custom surface. So I imported my custom surface, and so now we have our designer material inside of Mixer. And then I'm just gonna toggle on the stuff I started using. So I started adding some decals. You can see right here some cracks, some more damages right here, more damages on the right, and then we got some damages on the top. And then now I use these paint layers to kind of start bringing down. This one's bringing the bricks down, and then this one's bringing some of them up, and then this one is just like random spots. I wish I can show you them. Oh, yes, I could. I guess I created drips. I made this. I did this a while ago. Anyways, and then I did a damage pass right here, and then I masked it. I'll show you the mask. It's like just using a Perlin noise. And I lowered the opacity to half, and then I adjusted the color. And then I did a little bit more damages because I just felt like it needed some more. Added more on the side. Add some dirt, and I can show you what that mask looks like. That's the mask that I made, and this the mask with the blend from the material. And then now I started adding some leakage because I thought that stuff looks great on any like old wall material. Some more leakage in certain spots. That's right here. And then bottom, some more there. Then I started putting it in these corners, and then I put it in like this area here. I can show you. Yeah, and I masked out some spots. Kind of did that for all of it. And that's pretty much how I got this done, and revamped my substance designer material. Hopefully this video was helpful on how I created this. It was pretty simple. It's just a bunch of shapes and then masking it in and out, and then getting basic color information and making I made a super quick roughness. Shout out to JRO and his sweet alphas. Super handy. Shout out to Quixel for making awesome tools. Shout out to Algorithmic for making awesome tools. And yeah, hope that this video is informative, and I'll catch you in the next one. All right, see ya.